The thoughts and opinions on Just Some Podcast are of the hosts and guests and do not represent the views of organizations that employ them or they volunteer for. They are also not responsible for spontaneous black holes or nuclear wars that may occur. You have been warned.
Welcome, everybody, to another fun-filled and exciting episode of Just Some Podcast. This is Tom.
Hey, this is Ben for Take Two. Tom, how's it going, man?
For the second time, it is going great. Just so everybody knows, we have a very special guest tonight. We have Tiffany with us. Tiffany, if you want to say hello.
Hi.
And apparently, in the background, Tiffany's fish jumped out and karate chopped her computer at some point and killed the entire session, so we had to restart this entire process again. So that's why we were all laughing. Yeah, no,
Allegedly.
It's a little less dramatic than that, but that's what we're sticking with.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sounds exactly good.
I like the story, yeah.
So we were gonna act like nothing happened, but then Tiffany was like, no, tell them. I'm like,
it's
all right,
hilarious.
Well, exactly.
Apparently my fish tank and my computer are on the same outlet, so don't flip the switch or else everything will be gone.
Lessons learned, people.
Yeah, don't put your computer and your fish tank on the same switch. Lesson learned.
We're nurse practitioners, not electrical engineers.
Exactly.
There you go.
Well, Tom, how'd your week been, man?
So far, coronavirus free. Allegedly, which is a word we're probably going to get well acquainted with this episode.
Damn it.
Isn't that right?
First time.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first time I was having a bit of trouble with the word allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
See if we can pull up that audio where it was like, allegedly.
I was smelling burnt toast and I had sudden weakness on the right side of my face, but keep making fun of me there, Ben.
I will.
It's all right. No, so far it's been good. Nothing too exciting around here. How's it been down where you're at?
Yeah, lots of flu. Went to a nice little charity event this weekend and had some good times. So,
did you see the CDC warning today that people should start preparing for coronavirus in the United States?
Really?
Yes. I wish they would have sent out a warning that said perhaps we should start preparing for influenza.
Yeah. So worldwide, there's been 80,000 cases of coronavirus, but there's in America alone 1.3 million cases of influenza. So yeah, you're right.
I've had patients ask me if they can get coronavirus from drinking Corona.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. See.
Am I the only one that's encountered that?
Yes.
I have not had that, actually.
Yes, I have not had that. I can only confirm one patient asking about coronavirus. Most of my patients are they are fully aware that they don't have coronavirus, or at least the Wuhan variant of the coronavirus. But I have been waiting eagerly to stomp on somebody for asking me about that, but it hasn't happened yet. But apparently Tiffany, the dark horse of this race, has come out.
I have heard that, and then I also feel bad when I have to ask anyone, usually teenagers, I have to ask them, have you been around anybody that's traveled from China? And they'll usually tell me while I sit next to a kid that's from China in my class, and I'm like, well, is he really from China, or is he Chinese? And they're like, oh, he's Chinese.
And
then I just feel bad. Like, trying to get some education.
That's awesome.
There's only so much education you can give somebody when you have to make that distinction, though. I think
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate base problem we're going to have right there.
Yeah. True.
Wow.
Yeah. So we obviously we know how things are going for Miss Tiffany.
Oh, the stories I could tell.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we may get to that later.
Yeah, I would say, or maybe some are better left for off the air for Ben. There you go.
True.
So let's see here. No, I guess other than that, it has been unusually mild. The weather around here. That's the other thing that's actually kind of worrisome to me is that it's roughly 50 degrees and it's mid-February, or it's late February, I should say. I just keep waiting for Mother Nature to come through with like the WWF off the top rope. Yeah, drop elbow. Yeah, exactly. And just like level us with like 17 feet of snow in one day just to like, oh, I forgot to drop this over the past couple months. So I'm just going to give it to you in one day. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's the other thing that I keep like every day I wake up. I'm like, so what's the weather like today? I'm like, 49 and rain. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a bad June.
it's currently monsoon season here in Kansas, so I think we have had rain for like the last 5 days, and it's supposed to rain for another 3 or 4. So, other than building an ark and seeing flu patients, did you say better than snow?
Better than snow, yeah.
Very
if you
true.
ask me, I don't know. Some people beg to differ,
but doesn't it bother either of you that it's February and we're getting rain and
it's
almost
not like it's
weather.
75 and raining, Tom. I mean, it's like 40 degrees and raining here, so.
Yeah, it's not like we're outside anyways.
Oh.
Yeah, Tom.
I'd rather be working on a rainy day, so. Now, if it was my day off and it was 70 degrees outside and it was raining, I would be pretty upset. Not upset, but I'd be sad.
It's supposed to be cold and snowy. It's February.
No.
But we also live in Ohio where you have like 5 seasons in one day.
Okay, but he just said the same thing's going on in Kansas. The point is...
Okay, all right.
You know how Kansas weather is, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Very similar to there.
But...
Never been to Kansas.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Here's what I want you to do. Do nothing. Same exact thing.
Is that true?
Well, so in some parts, you just need to turn your clock back about 25 years, and then you'll have Kansas.
Here, drive by a field with cows in it. Yell, "Hey, cows!"
I love cows.
There you go. So you would fit right in. You'd fit right in down.
And everyone tells me I have an old soul, so I'd fit right in.
Oh boy, get her a pair of overalls.
Get her a pair of bib overalls, and she'll be all right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh shucks. All right, Ben. I think it's time to. Oh boy, this is gonna be a long episode for Tom. I can feel it.
Sorry, Tom.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. I'm not even drinking this episode. I probably should be. So it's time for Ben's favorite part of the show, Miss Tiffany. This is the social media shout out, Mr. Ben.
Well, Tom.
Go for it.
If people like the show, they can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Just Some Podcast. You can find us on the web. We're at www.justsomepodcast.com. Our email, admin@justsomepodcast.com. You can also find us on Helium Radio. We're on Helium Radio After Dark. That's their channel too. Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Tom, what else can they do, man? Thanks. Thanks.
Isn't he the best?
I'm really impressed. I feel like I was at an auction, like when they start like yelling things off. What do they call those people?
Auctioneer?
Oh yeah. I am educated, by the way.
Well, congratulations. You just bought a $500 cow. So
there you go. She loves cows.
I love cows. Worth every penny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, when you eat them. Okay, so the other thing they can do, Ben, is they can go to the Just Some Podcast website. They can scroll down to just about the bottom. They can click on the Amazon link before they do any of their shopping. It'll take them to the Amazon website where they can do their shopping, and anything they put in their cart after that will help give some proceeds to the show and will really help us out, and we would super appreciate it. And we thank everybody that does that for us now, and that happens quite often, so we can't thank everybody that does that enough. Miss Tiffany,
does.
is there?
I think you need to say it faster.
There you go.
More auctioneer like.
More action. You're like, well, to be fair, I have like some like nasal congestion and stuff going on. I'm not. I got that stuff going on. So.
Oh, is that what they call that?
I got some face chlamydia going on. That's what I got. So.
Where you been putting your face?
I'm sorry.
No, Tom, I was going to say, I'm glad that you mentioned that it has to be, you click on the link and then you put it in your cart. I'd like to give a shout out to my student, Miranda, who all excitedly told me, hey, I just used your link to buy a bunch of stuff, only to find out that it had been in her cart. And then she clicked on the link and then she paid for it, which then did not count toward our website.
Well, Miranda, we appreciate the thought, but now you're going to get a failing grade. So
actually, she canceled her order and they went back in and did it the correct way. So we still got credit for it.
And now you got a passing grade. So,
see how it works?
See the magic that we can bestow upon you.
Tom, next time I go to the thrift store shopping, I'll ask them if they can add a little onto your podcast.
There you go. See, Tiffany, she is a miracle worker, this one. So Miss
like
Tiffany,
negotiate.
She is, I'm telling you. She missed her calling to be a lawyer. I can see her being a corporate lawyer and just busting people.
Maybe in my next life. After I become a dentist.
And she's got some weird obsession with dentistry. I don't know.
Whoa.
That's a whole... Maybe we should bring her back for a psych episode and just deconstruct this problem.
Get her and Eric on together and figure out what the hell.
Oh, God, yes. That's a whole nother problem right there. Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
We're going to listen in live as we diagnose Tiffany.
Yeah. And he's going to be like, oh, we don't have enough drugs to fix this one. So there you go. Miss Tiffany, do you have any social media that you want to shout out?
Not really, honestly. I'm a lactation consultant and I have my own Facebook page, but
we can add that link to the old show notes or something, right?
Yeah, it's just Columbus Breastfeeding Support. So if moms need help breastfeeding, they can send me a message and I'll answer them as soon as I see it. Just because I have a passion for that also, along with cows. And
I don't know if you want to mention breastfeeding moms and cows in the same.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Oh, wow.
My bad. I apologize.
I mean, I have a real passion for breast
out?
as well. I'm just saying, but that doesn't mean.
Ben, I need you to edit this.
Oh no,
I'm just going to throw that out there.
That's staying in. Oh, that was
all right. See, it's all fun and games, Tiffany, till you come to the big boy league, huh?
Okay, don't share my Facebook media.
She's not prepared for the level of hate mail.
We can edit the Facebook.
Did you call me?
We'll beep the Facebook page out and just leave everything else in. See.
And then just a picture of Tiffany in overalls, like milking cow. She's like, "This is how I do lactation." Squirt, squirt, squirt. There you go.
Stop, guys. My microphone sucks and laughing into it is making this really hard. Sorry.
You just gotta grab them like a bunch of udders.
Tom just makes fun of me because every time we drive by cows, I know cows. Doesn't everybody do that?
No. Nobody else does that.
I disagree.
I love Tom, does everybody else do that? No. Well, I disagree. I'm the person you just asked. You can't disagree with my answer about what I see. Like, that's not how those answers work, Tiffany.
Well, let's ask our listeners. Do you yell cows when you drive by cows?
Nobody is. You know what? No one's going to answer.
They might answer.
Yes. No. They're going to answer, and nobody's going to say yes. As a matter of fact, Bjorn in Antarctica is going to be like, no. As a matter of fact, nobody sees a penguin down here and goes, penguin? Like, that doesn't happen.
They might.
No, they don't. Tom. They don't.
I tell you what, though, the next time that I drive by a cow, I'm going to do it just to see what it feels like.
Please record that. Not while you're driving, but if somebody's in the car with you, please.
Now, I will say, in Tiffany's defense, and this happened when I lived in Kansas, I was driving by a field and I saw a bison, which is a much larger animal than a cow, and it definitely grabbed my attention. I'm like, is that a fucking buffalo? Like, I was like, holy shit, that is a big damn animal over there. So I'm not gonna say I've never done it, but it wasn't for a cow. It was just like,
did you yell buffalo, or did you just use all that?
Well, I yelled buffalo, but it was more like, holy shit, did you see that buffalo? It wasn't like, hi, buffalo. It was more like, holy cow, that's a big ass buffalo right there. So, and then I was like, I'd shoot him with an arrow and eat him. So there you go.
Well,
buffalo is actually one of the top 5 things that women are supposed to eat because it's low in fat and high in iron. So there's a fun fact for you.
I'm just saying, and it's delicious. I've had buffalo, and it is fantastic.
It is really good, actually.
Technically, it's American bison, but we all know what we're talking about here.
And this has been another fun episode of Fun Facts with Tiffany.
We could have her back on regular.
Just
have her pop in for like 15 minutes randomly on episodes. Did you know?
Can we do this? That would be so fun.
So there you go. You never know, Tiffany.
Can I talk about thrift store shopping too?
You can talk about it. I don't give a shit. You can talk about it as long as you're funny. If people like you.
I mean, people do like me. It's like a trait that I have, I guess.
Tiffany.
Off the rails. Tom.
Tiffany, you haven't met our crowd yet, so I'm just saying. Let's get through this episode.
I'm pretty
first.
Sure everybody at the office loves me more than you now, so they're just waiting for me to come back.
Let's just hold on here.
It's true.
Ben, get this back on schedule here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you want me to introduce myself? I haven't done that yet.
Sure.
No, Tiffany. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares.
Hi guys, I'm Tiffany. I'm an RN for the last 5 years. New nurse practitioner. Just passed my exam.
Congratulations.
It was great. Thank you. I may have prayed on the floor in the bathroom. I don't usually get on the floors of bathrooms, but I was desperate this day.
But the real question, the real question is, when you went in to take your exam, did you look at the computer and yell exam?
You know what? I wanted to, but there's like this camera in there in this room, and they're all like staring at you. So I didn't want to make any suspicious. I didn't want them to think I was like FaceTiming somebody because they're like really suspicious. Like they were like, let me see your glasses. And they like made me take my glasses off to make sure there wasn't like a camera hidden in them or something. So no, I didn't do that. But plus there was no cows, so it wasn't exciting.
Well, I'm thinking that women's health should be really exciting. Every time you walk in the room, you're like, vagina.
That's
chlamydia really loud.
Yeah, exactly. Who says bacterial vaginosis? It just walking to every room like that.
Fun fact.
See, here we go.
Do you want to know how you remember the treatment for bacterial vaginosis?
Please. Do you want to tell us during the episode, or do you want to finish introducing yourself? I don't care either way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm Tiffany. I'm a new nurse practitioner, and I have a passion for, I love teenagers. I think they're fun to work with, and I want to make a difference and improve adolescent sexual and reproductive health across healthcare settings.
Again, I don't know if I would start off with I love teenagers.
I knew what you meant. It's fine,
okay,
Tom.
I enjoy working with teenagers. I love cows.
Again, I don't know if I would.
Tom, are you ready to get into stories you may have missed?
I'm ready to get away from anything that she does not say stuff that she loves. So there you go.
I have a passion, okay? When you have a passion, you sometimes use the word love. I
It's
love working with teenagers. They're fun.
They can be sometimes.
They really are. I mean,
depends on the day.
They're
Tom, are you getting into stories you may have missed?
Tiffany, are you ready for stories we may have missed?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, I thought I'd go a different route this time, Tom. Tom, do I
hit the mic when I'm talking? No, because I'm a fucking professional.
And now I have to leave it in because it's funny. Since we're throwing the word love around so much in this episode already, Tom, do you love making money, Tom?
I mildly enjoy making money.
Well, I thought I'd go a different route with stories you may have missed. And I thought I would look at, and I found an interesting article on Yahoo Finance about 18 medical stocks to watch amid the coronavirus outbreak. Oh. Who would not love to make money off of the coronavirus outbreak, right, Tom?
Who wouldn't make money off of it?
I said who wouldn't love to make money off of it.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. Go ahead.
All right, Tom. So I figured I would go over a few of these and just see what you thought on this. So one of the first companies that they mentioned is Alpha Pro Tech, and they manufacture mask and protective apparel, which are obviously high in demand in China. Okay. Lakeland Industries produces protective clothing for high-risk workers, such as medical professionals. Co-Diagnostics is a Utah Meditech company, and they are developing a test for the new coronavirus strain, so that could potentially be good. Novavax has launched a program for Wuhan coronavirus vaccine. It already boasts success in vaccine development for the MERS and the SARS strains. Here's one close to you, Tom. Cleveland Biolabs. Oncology pharmaceutical Cleveland Biolabs develops immune receptor activators for vaccines targeting various types of infections. Its vaccine is currently in phase 1 trials. Beyond Air is developing a nitric oxide generator to deliver nitric oxide to patients with lung infections. Nitric oxide has antiviral properties, and according to Beyond Air, has demonstrated effects against coronavirus. So there's just some medical. I see the wheels turning, Tom. What's up?
Two things struck me is the infamous Jim Baker has apparently been trying to sell things that he is quoting can fight off viral infections such as the coronavirus, which they absolutely can't.
I heard that on Howard Stern. He was selling like colloquial silver.
Yeah. So hopefully he gets arrested and charged with that pretty soon, I would hope. The second would be, and I just saw the highlight tonight on one of the news stations, so I can't speak on it completely, but I did see a senator grilling the acting secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, and he's like, well, do we have anything in place if, it comes to America, or how many cases we're expecting? And the guy's like, no, I don't know anything. He's like, well, that's not really reassuring since that's, part of your job. Right. And the guy's like, well, I don't know. You should probably ask the CDC. He's like, well, do you have any plans? And he said, yeah, we can have a vaccine in about a month and a half. He's like, oh, okay. So the CDC gets up there. He's like, yeah, Homeland Security about 10 minutes ago said we could have a vaccine in a month and a half. He said, that is not physically possible. That's not true at all. And the senator literally was like, you might want to tell the Department of Homeland Security, since he just told the Senate that that's what they were doing. So, yeah, apparently nobody has a clue what's going on right now, which is super awesome.
But maybe we should start preparing for it.
You would think, but we can't get people to prepare for the things that we already have, such as flu vaccines for the flu. So I'm not really sure why people are worried about the coronavirus at this point.
Or HPV vaccine?
Oh,
See, there you go. I like how she did that. Do you see how she, yeah.
Well,
She loves it. She loves HPV vaccines.
I do. I love Gardasil.
I love Gardasil. I love layup.
Okay.
Tiffany is the best. She really
Tom
is.
loves making fun of me.
Well, you're making it easy. So,
Glad something's easy for you, Tom.
ooh, cutting deep.
Wow.
There you go.
Tom, you ready to get into our main episode?
Yeah. Yeah, now that the fire is being returned, let's get this show on the road.
Well, Tom, why don't you fill everybody in on why we have Tiffany on the show?
Well, because she has such a passion for the topic, and we just had Valentine's Day, we at Just Some Podcast thought it'd be pretty good to educate the public and our fellow nurse practitioners on sexually transmitted infections.
Right? Because what do we expect after Valentine's Day and all the erogenous zone talk that we had with Pollyanna, but STDs?
Probably copious amounts of STDs.
And half-price chocolate.
Well, that too.
Unfortunately, Valentine's Day can sometimes bring the things that we don't like.
Correct. Like discharge, itching, burning sensation.
Correct.
So, since she is passionate about the topic and we want to help people learn, we thought this was a good combination, and we brought our new NP colleague on the air to help teach all the other NPs about the topic.
And just to throw this out here as a good introduction, can I teach you something that I learned? How to remember treatment for STDs? Students out there?
Absolutely.
Am I allowed to say the F word?
Fuckity
Because-
fuck. There you go. You can say it all you want.
Yes.
I don't know. It's not going to feel right. What if my grandma sees this or hears this one day?
Your grandma is going to hear a lot worse, I'm sure. So, just
Yeah, like you making fun of me.
oh, poor
I'm
grandma.
kidding. I think it's hilarious. Okay, so here is what I learned while studying for my board. Somebody posted this on one of the Facebook groups. Cuties all get cooties to FUCK, suck and play. Okay.
No. Say it. No, say it.
Cuties all get cuties to fuck, suck, and play. Oh my God, I said it. Sorry, I just said the F word on air. I'm sorry. I don't love the F word. But anyway, so cutie stands for chlamydia, all azithromycin, get gonorrhea, cooties, ceftriaxone, 2, trichomoniasis, the F word, flagell, suck, syphilis, play, penicillin. So now you know the treatment for each one.
I like that.
Yeah, you just write it out. And then also the bad vag gets the flag. Bacterial vaginosis, flagell.
Like, how would you rank STDs as far as like commonality?
Well, if you get on the CDC website, oh my gosh, the CDC website is amazing. You literally can figure out which STDs are in your area. You can narrow it down by age, race, sex, county. It's really awesome. So you can see what is where. So if you're thinking about moving to Kansas and you want to know what the number one STD is there, you can just get on the CDC website and look. But right now, chlamydia is everywhere. That's what I keep telling these teenagers. I'm like, listen, I love you. Do not get chlamydia.
At least chlamydia is treatable. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, but it can still cause complications.
Well, yeah, but not as bad as herpes. I mean, like that shit's forever.
Yeah, true.
And isn't
But I don't think it's very fair that men don't get symptoms of chlamydia, but women do. Like they can get infertility, ectopic pregnancies, pelvic inflammatory disease. How's that fair? Men just don't even get burning when they pee. They don't even
luck of the draw, my friend.
Men can stand to pee and women can't. I mean, it is what it is.
You know what? I know what the trade-off is. have you ever seen a man when he has a cold? Do you see the suffering we go through?
It's almost as bad as childbirth.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tom, I remember how cranky you were when you came to work sick.
Well, I'm just saying, I was still there because I'm a trooper, Tiffany.
Now, just imagine how cranky he would have been if his dick was sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be horrible. I don't even want to know.
Honestly, so here's my question. We're talking about the normal ones. Wouldn't HPV be considered the most common or pervasive of all the sexually transmitted infections?
I mean, I don't know. I heard that like Canada has pretty much gotten rid of HPV due to the vaccine. If the people in the US would just vaccinate, maybe we can do the same thing.
Okay, well, while we do have quite a loyal following in the land of mooses and maple syrup, we're talking about America right now. This is America. Sorry. Okay, Tiffany, since we're bringing you on as the expert in this case, which is the bigger threat? The more common ones that we think of, the gonorrheas, the chlamydias, syphilis, etc., or something like HPV? Like, what do you consider the bigger the threats?
I mean, I don't know. That's hard because HPV causes cancer, so that's a big deal. But chlamydia is treatable, and so is gonorrhea. I feel like I don't know. So there's a toss up there. What would you say?
Well, since I'm immune to it, I don't know.
But if HPV causes cancer and you vaccinate for it, it's probably not as bad because we can prevent it but you can also prevent other STDs, obviously. But
that's what I'm saying. I'm immune to all these, so it doesn't matter to me.
Oh, Jesus.
Why? Because you're not sexually active?
Exactly. So there you go. I'm pretty much a monk at this point in my life. So
I
don't have to worry about any of these problems.
Sorry. Maybe you should have got that half-price Valentine's Day chocolate.
Boom.
I love it. I love half-price Valentine's Day chocolate.
Me too, Tom.
So Ben, what would you consider? What would you consider the bigger of the threats? I honestly, I would consider the bacterial infections the bigger threat, just because the incidence of cancer caused by HPV is not as high as what is the word I am looking for?
Words are hard.
Yeah. My mind just drew a blank.
I think
I love words.
I love words.
I think that
I had to.
Yes.
I think you're going to see a higher prevalence of HPV. Like a large portion of the population has that. And so I think long range, you're looking at more concern for that. Whereas, it's one of those like accumulation of sun can cause skin cancer risk. So you don't think about it when you're 20, but then when you're 60, that's a problem. So I see that's kind of how HPV would be, whereas the bacterial infections are going to be more of an acute, there's stuff coming out of my vagina. Yeah.
But what about gonorrhea? Since it's like there's some places that have gonorrhea that is resistant to antibiotics.
Well, there's the gonorrhea, and syphilis is on the uptake. There's a large surge in syphilis cases, especially in the Midwest. So, I mean,
which can be problematic
at acute. Yes.
Like neuro symptoms with syphilis.
So I would say, for me, the acute bacterial infections are the bigger issue than the long-term HPV. That's just me talking in a generality at this point.
I mean, there's a reason why those are STDs that are reportable to the CDC and some aren't.
So which ones are reportable?
Syphilis, HIV, Hep C, Hep B, gonorrhea, cancroid, and chlamydia.
Let's go over some maybe common symptoms that we might see from patients with some of the more common STDs.
Okay. So rashes, painful urination, yellowing of the skin, which would be a late sign, obviously discharge. And again, men don't really have symptoms, but women typically do.
So, okay, here's a legitimate question that I have, being that I am a male practitioner, I don't see a whole bunch of STI stuff because women are more comfortable seeing women. So is there a particular, if discharge is a certain color, does that more indicate a certain type of infection?
I remember studying and reading that green was like the color for chlamydia. So yeah, if they say they have like a green discharge, definitely screen them. I feel like anytime a female is complaining of discharge, they should just be tested. And also don't necessarily consider the age of the patient to determine whether or not they're at risk for STDs, because now they're saying that you should ask the age of their partner. So for example, if a 40-year-old is sexually active with a 25-year-old, they're more likely to have STDs.
Well, I'd also heard that they're starting to see a prevalence of STDs in like nursing homes as well.
Yeah, I heard that too. I can't remember what state it was, but there was like this nursing retirement area that had like this huge STD breakout.
Which, I mean, I guess if it's still working. I mean,
yeah, they say that's why syphilis is on the rise too, because more medications to help with erectile dysfunction, and people aren't as afraid of getting AIDS anymore because some people have actually cured their AIDS. So now they're not using condoms because they're not afraid of getting HIV.
Ridiculous. So I guess one of the things is when we're seeing this totality of symptoms, what are some of the things that you think we should be, you said asking age, what are some of the other questions we should probably be asking our patients to try and differentiate if we should be going down the path of treatment or testing for STI versus maybe something that is non-sexually transmitted?
So just asking, do you have one partner, multiple partners? Are you having sex with men, women, or both? So that it doesn't sound like you're singling them out. Don't just say, hey, are you having sex with men, or are you having sex with women? Just say women, men, or both. And then do you have multiple sexual partners? Because that is an increased risk. Or just, I know what works for teenagers is, hey, while you're here, did you want us to screen you for STDs? And they're like, yeah, let's do that. They're here for some other complaint.
Tom bringing up the whole questions thing brought up something interesting that I want to ask your opinion on. During a well woman exam, at least on our computerized system, one of the questions that it pops up is about anal intercourse. And I always feel weird approaching them patients with that just because I don't want someone to make an assumption that I'm assuming anything. So how do you just, do you just bluntly ask it? Is there a more tactful way of approaching that? Because I like the, do you sleep with men, women, or both? Because it's not making a accusation.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips for
what?
How to ask that question for as far as anal intercourse?
I mean, a lot of people are more sensitive than others. So that's a tricky question. I guess I would just be honest with them. Hey, are you having anal and vaginal sex? Just add it in there with and, so that they don't feel like they have to say, yes, I'm having anal sex. They could just say yes to the whole complete question, so it's not singled out.
Fair enough. So let's say I'm a teenager and I'm coming in, and what talk are you going to give me? Let's say I test positive for like gonorrhea or chlamydia or whatever. What's your education spiel for that patient?
To prevent STDs, or if they've been exposed to them?
Let's say they test positive.
So we would basically just tell them, hey, this came back positive. This is how you got it. Really want to make sure that you're treated, and we want to make sure that your partner is treated.
So do you advocate then for treating partners?
I think so, absolutely. Or to tell them, hey, your partner needs to come in to get treated or screened, both. But I actually had a patient who came in and she had to come in the next day to get her treatment for gonorrhea. And I was like, hey, did you know how you got this? And she said, no. And I was like, well, usually one partner is experiencing with possibly somebody else. And I tried to put it in the best way possible. I didn't want to be like, hey, your boyfriend's cheating on you, or hey, you're cheating on your boyfriend. But I just told her this is how it happens. And she was shocked. She was like, I didn't even know. Like, I just thought it I was unlucky and it happened. And I'm like, no, this happens because somebody is being unfaithful. So your boyfriend needs to be treated and maybe have a discussion with him. And she was like so thankful that I had told her that, because the doctor she had saw the day before just screened her, but didn't necessarily tell her like, hey, this is what happens when it comes back positive. So we made, as healthcare providers, know, oh my gosh, somebody is cheating on somebody. But as a patient, you don't really realize that, I guess.
That's a good educational component that I guess we probably take it for granted more than we realize.
Yeah, you don't want to assume anything.
I would say, I'm going to be 100% honest. I would have never guessed that I needed to educate a person having sexual intercourse on how they got a disease through sexual intercourse. Like my brain would have never guessed I needed to, though I don't know why at this point in my life I would assume that, but that is a very good point, that maybe education is a key component to preventing the spread of it further.
Yeah, I think it's different when you're working with adults and when you're working with not adults, teenagers and pre-adolescents, because honestly, it happens at a very young age. I've seen really young, unfortunately, but they just think different. So you have to put yourself in their shoes. And then I just always ask the age of their sexual partner, and we always get a phone number to call them instead of the parent too, because they may not want their parent to know.
That brings up an interesting point, because or at least I know not affairs, that's why I'm asking. So in Kansas, someone can come in for sexual health, whether it be birth control, STD testing, whatever the case may be, at any age without parental consent and without us having to make any notification to their parents. Is that the same in Ohio?
I think most states are age 13, I believe. I know the process where I'm employed is we can make their own chart for them with a code and their phone number in it. Or sometimes we'll just say in front of the parent, hey, your child is having these symptoms, therefore we're going to go ahead and do a pregnancy STD screening. And then the parents, they have like a minor 5-second freak out, but then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to, if that's what needs to happen, okay, I feel like we have more teenagers open with parents than not. A lot of teenagers are close to their parents and they already know that they're sexually active and have educated on them, which is a good thing.
Right. No.
So they're okay if we.
And it's not like we have a line of 14-year-old and 15-year-old girls out here, they're like coming in for sexual health. I've had maybe one or two patients that were less than 18 that come in for sexual type health and specifically said, I don't want my parents to know about this. And
yeah,
you have to respect that.
Is it age 13 in your state too? I feel like in Ohio it's 13 too.
There's no age limit
where the parents
in Kansas.
Be involved.
Nope, there's no age limit in Kansas. It's as weird as it, and I think when they passed the law, I'm sure we're not expecting 11-year-olds to come in for sexual health, and I've never seen an 11-year-old for sexual health. But I think they were assuming a reason, like a normal age, quote unquote, and so I don't think an actual age limit specifically was ever set.
So I guess ultimately, for those that are listening, you're going to need to check out your regional laws. Like everyone's going to have state specific, but most states are going to have something that says that if they are able to make reasonable medical decisions for themselves, they don't have to have a parent for certain sexual health or reproductive decisions.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to know so that we can protect adolescents' right to seek that treatment with or without parental.
Yeah, because the last thing you want is them to not seek treatment because they're afraid you're going to tell their parents.
Is Planned Parenthood in Kansas? Do you have those nearby?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how close we are to my exact location, but yeah, there are some within the state, yes.
I mean, I always think that's a good program too because they don't bill you and they try their best to get services covered and they don't talk to your parents. So
we covered treatment and some of the more common ones. So let's hear your your prevention spiel. Let's say you're going into a classroom of 8th graders. So how are you going to encourage them to not get STDs?
Obviously, telling them to wear condoms and teaching them how to use a condom, of course, is very important. And educating them on only having one partner, and then asking their partner, how many partners have you had in the past? And to just always be honest. And I honestly love to give websites that are readily available to kids because they sometimes believe the internet more, but just educating them on, you want to use .gov sites and like the CDC and things like that. It's very common knowledge and easy to read, and it gives them all the information they need. But yeah, using a condom and making sure that they put it on correctly.
Now, would you dispel the myth? Because, and this is again probably more folklore than anything, but you hear stories of people saying, "Oh well, or I'm still a virgin, but I have anal sex or I have oral sex." So, I mean, would you dispel that myth of no, any type of sexual activity you're going to run that risk for STDs, STIs?
Yes, letting them know that you can still get STDs through oral sex and anal sex, and educating them safer ways to do those activities. I actually, for the first time, learned that they have a condom that you can wear for oral sex that supposedly prevents STDs. I wanted to open it up and look at it because I honestly have never seen one, but
it's different than like a regular condom.
Yeah, it's a condom that you use for oral sex, and I had no idea that it even existed. I guess the male or female puts it on the vagina and before they perform oral sex.
Oh, you're talking like a dental dam?
Yeah, I didn't even know about those until I was a nurse.
That's what. Yeah, that's. I was like, I thought it was a dental dam. Is what you were talking about, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant for like men. I was like, you talking like a different type of condom? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and I can't believe that I was like 30 years old and I've never seen this before. So,
well,
since we have those for our patients, I made sure to give them one and tell them what it was.
If you're talking about the CDC website here, they talk about dental dams, and they even show you how to make a dental dam from a condom in case you just have a condom.
Oh, neat.
So you cut you cut both ends off and then cut it up the side, and then it lays flat for dental dam use.
That's awesome. See, that's good and pictures, of course, always good for easy learning.
Pictures, and illustrations, I guess, probably not actually pictures. Let's clarify that.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Tom, anything else that you want to approach with Tiffany before we get into our final segment?
And Tom, we talk about how we like to screen everyone for STDs, even if they're getting married next week.
Tom.
Right?
Well, maybe we should make sure that it's appropriate and that the person just doesn't want treated for a UTI.
But UTIs and STDs can present in the same manner.
Sometimes when you hear hoof prints, you need to think horse, not zebra.
Boom.
What about cows?
I love cows.
I'm going to take that as you don't have anything else to say, Tom. Is that where we're at with that?
I was just... Yeah, because I was going to say, my websites have these little movies on them that you can watch.
What?
It's nice that you can pass those out to patients, Tom.
I'm telling you, the CDC website's amazing. There's no videos, but they're just pretty...
I'm pretty sure Tom's not talking about the CDC website.
I know, I'm just trying to change the subject.
It is definitely a .com, not a .gov.
Oh my goodness!
Well, Tiffany, is there anything that you want to add?
No, just like I said, screen everyone because you just never know. But
that 82-year-old grandma for COPD exacerbation is going to be a little pissed off when I try to swab her, but I'm going to be like Tiffany said.
Tiffany said,
You would be,
ma'am.
you would be so surprised with the people that are like, hey, while you're here for your cough and because you're all under this age, while you're here, would you like us to test you for STDs? And they're like, absolutely.
Yeah, but but see, then you have to have a medical necessity code.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know exactly how that works. I guess possible exposure.
Fair enough.
I
I think there's like a high risk.
There's
one catch-all that I use is like high risk sexual.
This is what happens when good ideas hit reality.
But I will take it into consideration that I will consider asking more patients if they want to be screened, particularly if we're doing blood work and things of that nature.
Yeah. Thanks. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Tom's an asshole.
I don't think so.
Oh, I do. Let's clarify that. Yeah. Totally think Tom's an asshole.
All right, you can edit that out.
So, Tom, as a male provider, do you, particularly if they're younger, for me personally, I will allow them to self-swab because I feel like it's probably easier on everybody. Is that something that you also do?
So it really falls into a couple different categories for me. If we are going down, so the newer guidelines that I read are basically, if we are pretty sure that we have a positive exposure, it's treat. And so if they come in and they're like, yeah, my girlfriend or my boyfriend just went to an urgent care and they told me that they tested positive for chlamydia, I just treat them.
No, that
so, and so that's what I'm saying is the grand majority of the patients I was seeing previously were coming in as I have already been exposed. And so,
gotcha.
Yes, first of all, usually I was seeing male patients. So the female NPs tended to have the female patients gravitate towards them. And if a male ended up on their schedule, they'd be like, hey, Tom, I need you to see this person. And so I would usually get the men, at which point we would have a pretty frank discussion and they would come out and say, yeah, this is what happened. And I'd be like, okay, well, we can do some testing, but if you're telling me you've already been positively exposed, then realistically, why are we just not treating? You need to be treated and they need to be treated. Or they come in, they said she or he have already been treated. I'm like, well, then at this point, testing is moot. So we just went ahead and went forward with treatment.
How does that work, though, if it's a reportable STD? Just out of curiosity.
My assumption would be that his code would be something like an exposure to chlamydia, not an actual chlamydia. Therefore, it wouldn't be necessarily
exposure.
And let me clarify on my self swabs. It's not like anybody who comes in with anything vaginal, I'm like, yeah, so swab yourself. It's more like if they come in, they want STD testing and they don't have any symptoms or they don't have any rashes or they don't have anything that needs to necessarily be examined and they are more comfortable with doing a self swab, then that's something that I do just to make life easier for them without having to expose
versus
themselves.
Doing a full pelvic.
Right.
But if you are getting a more extensive profile, then you're like, no, we really need to.
Yeah, if they're talking, I'm having a bunch of discharge,
there, but I didn't mean, yeah.
Or if I got a rash or I got a blister that needs, something like that, then yeah, of course I'm going to examine them. Or if we're doing, if they're over 21 and we're doing PAPs, then of course I'm not going to let them self-swab for a PAP. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like, if you could hit the T-zone on your own PAP, like this is pretty amazing, to be honest. So,
well, I know one person who was, but we'll talk about that, or could, but
wow. I can't. Oh man,
Tiffany, are you ready to get into our last segment of the night?
Yes.
Tiffany was like, I love self swabs.
I do. Anything to eliminate the stirrups.
So she does not love the stirrups.
Yeah. Oh, so we finally found something she doesn't love.
It's just so awkward. How would you guys know? You're not a man. Or, you're not a woman that has to put your feet up.
Incorrect. I have been locked into a pair of boot stirrups kidney
Okay.
stone surgery.
Oh,
That's what was what I was figuring. Yeah. All right.
I was wondering. I was trying not to picture that.
I didn't want to be there either, so please don't. I don't care.
All right. I'm going to play the music and then we'll get into our last segment. Join us on a journey into the inner psyche of our guest as we ask five questions. Okay, this is 5 questions with Tiffany. Tiffany, we ask every guest the same 5 questions. I ask the question, Tom makes fun of your answers. Now, with these questions, we don't want you thinking too hard. We want just give us an answer.
Oh Lord. Okay. My heart is
But it's going to tell us more
Oh,
about you.
no, it's fun. It's fun. This is the fun part.
This
It
is
is
not
fun.
good for my.
Oh, stop it. It's perfectly fun.
All right. Question 1. What is your favorite medical word?
Oh gosh.
Fine.
This is. I guess I like strep swabs because every time I say it, the kids start freaking out and gagging, and it's kind of funny. You just say strep swab, and every kid like runs to the other side of the room. It's just weird. It's like an instant gratification.
She's a sadist. Good to know.
Well, but, see now, I get a reaction to it when I say that we're doing the flu swab, and they're like, "Oh, like they would much rather do a strep swab over the flu swab any day."
Oh really?
Well, yeah, because the
I don't find that.
flu
I
swab
prefer
is
the
up the
opposite.
nose.
Yeah, I know that. I work in
Yeah.
urgent care. It's crazy.
All right. Question 2. If you could do any job in the world other than what you currently do, what would it be?
Dentist
I knew that. God.
Okay, why?
or professional like thrift store shopper. I don't know.
I don't think it's a
dentistry is.
thing. The
Oh,
professional.
I would say no. Dentistry is totally a real thing, Ben.
No.
yeah. I used to be a
Shut up,
dental
Tom.
assistant, and I just really liked dentistry a lot.
She
But
can
didn't
even
you
say
have,
hello
like-
in Korean.
안녕하세요.
See? You should see Ben's face right now. It's pretty funny. That's another story for off the air, Ben.
That'll appeal to our Korean listeners.
Yeah, we have several listeners in Korea, so there you go, Tiffany.
Awesome.
But so, how did you get into nursing? Why didn't you go into like dental hygiene or something?
I didn't really want to be a hygienist because I didn't want to clean teeth all day. And I don't know.
It's like I wanted to be in banks, but I didn't really want to touch money.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like,
I want.
But the dentists don't clean your teeth. The hygienists do.
Yeah, you do realize dentists touch teeth, though.
Yeah, but they don't have to clean them. They get to like drill them and fill them and extract them.
the sadist part coming through again. See, okay.
Yeah, here you
I
go.
would love to be like an oral surgeon because I would love to take a tooth out. I just think it would be so like fun.
Ooh.
Do you want them to be awake while you're taking the tooth out by any chance? Would that make it better for you?
Some nitrous oxide, that'll be good.
Oh, there you go. She's like, yeah.
All right. Question 3. Tiffany, think back to your first car. Was it a stylish ride or a rolling turd?
It was a rolling turd. Would you like to know about that?
Yes. What kind of car was it?
I had a 1984 Chrysler Laser.
Oh.
I paid $300 for it, and it was a stick. It didn't have a radio, so my brother and I decided to put a boom box in the back of it, and we had to carry double D batteries everywhere we went. Or D batteries. Double D does not exist. That's something else. D batteries. So, and then every time that we would stop my car and start it back up again, we'd have to put water in it because of the
Radiator.
Yes, that thing exactly. Yeah.
That thing.
So what color was this lovely vehicle?
It was maroon. My brother and I decided to put a little extra spray paint on the. We spray painted our hands and put our handprints on it. I have pictures. It's very.
Oh, I want to see a picture of this thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Handprint.
that is.
It also didn't have heat in it, so we drove it all winter long. We would freeze all the way to Newark, just 45-minute drive from where I was living. Yeah. Actually, people I went to high school still talk about that car.
Well, how could you not?
Well,
I
how
mean,
could they not? Oh, Jesus Christ, that's twice been. I was like, yeah, that thing has got to be legendary status. Like that should be on a poster board at your high school reunions.
the hand printed Chrysler Laser. There you go. Yeah.
What year did you? Oh, never mind. Don't tell me. I don't want to know because I was just trying to imagine what music she was playing. I imagined Belle Biv DeVoe
Oh, it was
Poison.
Nelly hot in here all the way.
Oh, see, yeah, she's way too young. I was expecting like Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe playing on the backseat of this thing.
Well, you know I'm a Phil Collins fan, so that doesn't, I love Phil Collins.
I love Phil Collins. So there you go.
Oh, question. Wow. All right. Question 4. Tiffany, if your house is on fire, everyone, including your pets, are safe. What's the one thing you want to get out of your house?
It would probably be pictures of my kids.
Other than pictures.
Oh, I can't have pictures?
Let's say they're safe too. They're safe in the cloud.
My North Face.
Oh, wow.
Tom, you know I love my North Face. It goes from all the way down to my toes. It keeps me warm. I could sleep in it if I wanted to. Why are you judging me? It's the one thing I didn't buy at a thrift store.
So first of all, that's my entire job during 5 questions is to judge you. Second of all,
I forgot
everybody always has pictures during this part of the show.
Yeah,
like
everybody says pictures.
I in my head I was saying pictures or flash drive with pictures or photo album. I was like, here it comes. Like I already know.
Oh man, I was trying not to say pictures too, but it wouldn't get out of my head.
Well, no, you have to roll with what you're saying. I love pictures, but I was waiting for her to say like my Google Assistant.
Oh, I do. I was going to say I love, but I'm trying not to say that too.
Oh no. Please do.
You might as well roll with it now. Yeah.
I love. Okay, Google.
Yeah, she does. So
Great. Like I'm in the kitchen cooking and I want to know how many like tablespoons are in 3 cups. It tells me. It's great.
They make those from Amazon too. And you can buy those with our link. justsomepodcast.com.
Oh, you're right. Next time.
I understand why people want the pictures, but at the same time, like Ben said, is like,
well, the pictures are on your phone too, and they're backed up by your Google Drive. So I guess I could see that. But
It's okay. All right.
although the doctor I worked with the other day made fun of my coat, so I don't know.
I have too, so I get it.
Yeah, he was like, "You're 5'7" and your coat is 8 foot, so it doesn't make any."
That totally sounds like something Tom would say too.
Oh, Tom, I should have said my cat shirt, my Taylor Swift cat shirt.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes, that's what you should have said, but it's too late now, Tiffany. It's burnt to a fucking crisp. There is no more Taylor Swift-esque cat shirt. It's gone.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
She doesn't love that.
No,
She doesn't love
I love my cat shirt.
Question 5. You have $9.18 in your pocket. You go to a convenience store. What all do you buy?
Am I tired, or like is this the beginning of the day or the end of the day or like lunchtime?
Whatever you want it to be.
It's whatever time. Yeah.
A vitamin water.
Yep.
And a Kit Kat.
I already knew that.
What flavor?
The one with
vitamin
caffeine.
Okay.
What?
He wanted to know what flavor.
The yellow one, because it has caffeine in it.
I love the
yellow
flavor
one.
of yellow.
I love yellow.
Do. I love the color yellow, actually. Are you guys keeping a list of I loves?
Oh, we will be. Yes. Don't worry.
Okay.
It'll make a great soundbite. So a vitamin water and Kit Kat, that's like $2, $3.
Okay. So
You got $6 left.
do I have oh gosh, $6 is a lot. I could buy a lot of stuff from the thrift store. I can't just keep it. I have to spend it
No.
all.
Yep, you guys have been every bit of it.
Lottery tickets.
Is that what you thought she was going to say, Tom?
Final answer.
I understand how her brain works. I feel at this point between the
Actually, can I put the vitamin water back and the Kit Kat? Because I just want to buy all lottery tickets now.
Jeez. Oh wow.
Yes, I'll make sure to return this vitamin water.
Yeah, she's already taken a drink out of it, but she's like, it's okay.
I'll just tell them it was expired. Remember when I exchanged our friends, our nurse's Lunchable? You didn't think I could do it. I did it without a receipt.
Yeah,
Tell me I can't do stuff.
Yeah, what was
she
I?
loves exchanging stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Ask Tom how much money I won when I played. What was that? Which one did we play?
Keno.
Keno. I won like $75. I was like,
every time we went out to lunch, she would play Keno. That's why when you said there's like $6 left, what do you do? I was like, fucking scratch off. I already knew what the fuck was coming. So I already fucking knew.
So you know me all too well.
So does she love Keno?
Yes, I love Keno.
Well, that concludes 5 questions.
Yeah, half a vitamin water,
5 questions.
one bite of a Kit Kat, and somehow $9 worth of lottery tickets.
That's great. That was probably one of our more original answers. So,
you're welcome.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
That wraps up this episode, I think.
Do you want me to end it with I love just some podcast?
See, that's a good soundbite.
Yeah. Or no, we got to say I love 5 questions so that every time you get ready to play 5 questions, you can play I love 5 questions.
I love 5 questions.
We can add that to it. It's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Tom.
I can see her like
I get like 10 cents for every time you play it.
See, I was just saying, God damn it!
We don't even
made a deal with a double bet.
Let's clarify that.
Yeah, you owe us 10 cents. You owe us 10 cents every time it plays.
Listen. Right now, it's not worth a cent, but one day it'll pay your rent. Oh.
Oh,
she loves rhymes.
I do. I love rhymes. Tom, did you tell them I love Lil Wayne?
No, we'll talk about that off the air here in a second. We have got to finish this episode.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. If you like this episode, and you want to hear more from Tiffany, let us know. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all at Just Some Podcast. Our website's www.justsomepodcast.com. Emails admin@justsomepodcast. Sold to Tiffany for $500 for the cow and some scratchers.
Got to use your auctioneer voice. Do it again.
He almost an hour, and now she's like, she's taking over the damn show.
Yes, she's the CEO of Just Some Podcast somehow. So.
Do it again.
I'm cool like that.
Wasn't good enough. Do it again.
Take 2.
Oh,
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Just Some Podcast, or websites www.justsomepodcast.com. Emails admin@justsomepodcast.com.
That was pretty awesome.
Do it one more time.
Guys, this was so much fun. I don't want to be a nurse practitioner anymore. I want to be a podcaster.
Yeah, so do we. So when we figure this out, we'll get you on there more often.
You think that until you don't get paid for it, and then it's not near as much fun. I mean, it is fun, but not as much fun as getting paid.
Get paid in memories.
Oh, yeah. That I tried to pay my electric bill with memories once, and it didn't work out. So,
yeah.
Because you're not me.
Hey, they are having us come down to the national conference to talk about doing this in June.
Yeah.
So a couple thousand nurse practitioners are going to ask us about you in June, and I'll be like, stay the fuck away from her. So
Tell them if they like me, pay me.
Jesus Christ.
She loved getting paid. So
They could pay me in shoes.
In what?
shoes
Shoes or
stuff.
lottery tickets.
God.
Hey, Tom's a shoe aficionado too, so he really can't say anything.
Tom does like his shoes.
I do.
Well, Tom, I think next week, if it works out the way that it's supposed to work out, then we're going to go from erogenous zones and sex with Pollyanna to STDs with Tiffany to pregnancy with Stephanie.
Well, I can't wait.
And then after pregnancy, you can do lactation with me. I'm also a lactation.
I don't know if the internet can handle you twice.
I promise I won't say love.
I want a picture of her in overalls milking a cow first.
I am really... Ben, you just shot to my heart when you said that.
See? Now, what a dick, Ben. You are such an asshole.
You hurt my feel-bads.
Yeah, see? What an asshole. You are so worthless, Ben.
I'm sorry.
I have seen some fucking
Probably gonna fall asleep in fetal
dick
position
face
with my
fuck sticks in my life, but damn it, Ben. All she wanted to do was tell the world how much she loved talking about STIs and fucking teenagers.
What? Whoa, that took a really weird turn.
Like, not fucking teenagers, like
no, that's what you just
like
said.
adjective, not verb. So you took that the wrong way, Ben. How is there anything else you want to ruin tonight, Ben? God.
You mean me? I don't know. By the time you guys edit your podcast, you're not gonna have anything left.
So be a 14-minute episode
of just laughter.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's just like I love stirrups, and then 5 questions. So
I'm sorry, Ben. You got your work cut out for you. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's gonna be great. It's a new segment. Love it or hate it with Tiffany.
That might be a really good episode.
Yep, people can call in and be like, "Do you love this?" And I'll give them my opinion. It's great.
So we go from sex to STDs to pregnancy to apparently lactation with Tiffany again. So maybe we'll have her on in a couple of weeks again.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Because I love breastfeeding.
I apparently did too.
And so do bodybuilders.
There you go. Whoa.
What?
My brother, my brother's friend found out that I just had a baby, and he asked my brother if he could have some breast milk. So I gave him some.
See, I don't think you're picking up on what he was putting down. That's what I'm saying.
I guess it gives him like a lot of energy or something. I don't know.
I'm assuming they were going for colostrum or he was hitting on you.
He's never seen me. He just knew that I had a baby.
Oh.
Well, we'll have to research that. Why don't you
saw a picture.
Why don't you Google that and see if that
okay, Google. Do bodybuilders drink breast milk?
I didn't mean right now. I just meant in general.
Can you hear it? It's talking. Can you hear it? Oh, man.
I'm telling you, it's colostrum.
They said it because, it's still going on about the fat content and stuff, and that's why.
I mean, it doesn't taste horrible. So, I mean, there's that.
You would know.
I would know.
What fucking Twilight Zone am I in right now? All right. let's get the. I'm done with this shit.
It's really good to feed your husband your breast milk. It increases
I am done with this now. Done.
I gotta go to bed anyway. My kids be up in 6 hours.
Yeah, I gotta be up in like 5 hours. So let's go.
Okay, on that note, everybody has a great week.
Hey, everybody, stay safe out there.
Thanks, guys.
Practice swearing just to pass the time. Lately I see why I am alone. I caught some road rage and I thought of you. And all the many times you say I should have known. Took a class so I could find my G. Found mediocrity's the best that I could do. Went to shower but I slept all day. It takes everything to live the life I choose. Oh, what do you say? I screw up everything again. Oh, what did you prove except there's only more for me to lose. Failure's not the same without you.